Okay, let's move on to the City League a little bit. We have Marion Franklin versus Walnut Ridge. And joining us, we have DeShawn Isaac. How are you doing, DeShawn?
Doing excellent here, and I'm very excited to talk a little bit of City League action with you here.
Okay, awesome. So who wants to start for Marion Franklin versus Walnut Ridge? Ty, do you want to start?
Sure.
Go ahead, start.
Sure, why not? Last week, Marion Franklin played at Whetstone. I'm getting these games mixed up. Played at Whetstone, even though they were the top seeded, even though they were the higher seeded team, right? A 35-10 win over Whetstone. Mateo Brooks, 15 attempts for 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also rushed for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now this by a Columbus City League team is impressive. 404 total offensive yards. 32 rushing attempts for 289 yards, which accounted for 71% of their total yards. So Marion Franklin easily handles Whetstone. I think they easily handle Walnut Ridge also.
Okay. DeShawn?
In this game, I got to be honest with you, I looked at this game last week with Whetstone and Marion Franklin. There was a big giveaway here. Out of all the teams last week, your top-seeded teams beat the lower-seeded teams. All of them had shutouts except one, and that was Marion Franklin. I have a little bit of concerns about Marion Franklin's defense, but let's admit here that they had a great rushing attack with Tito Glass. Bad news is he's not there this week. He's injured. He actually tweaked his ankle on the bad field at Whetstone. It's just, I'm looking at this game, and it's going to be a lot more tighter than we really think it's going to be here. I'm thinking that Marion Franklin will pull it out, but it's going to be one of the more tighter games that we've seen in this City League playoffs. And it's been a playoff lacking so far of those games, of those really tight games.
DeShawn made a great point. I agree. It's definitely going to be a tight game. The other thing he mentioned about them not having a shutout, I was actually at that game. That's one of the games I attended. Whetstone showed the ability to move the ball down the field. They missed a field goal in the red zone. They also had some turnovers. So Marion Franklin did show that if you can pass the ball, you can possibly move the ball on them. Bad news for Walnut Ridge is they're without their starting quarterback. So I don't know if they're going to be able to take advantage of that, perceived weakness in the Marion Franklin's defense. Up front, Marion Franklin's front seven is really tough. In the secondary, they've got some good players. Gio Scales, not Bernard. Gio Scales, I'm thinking Bengals. Gio Scales is committed to OU on a scholarship. So he's a talented player. They'll use him on offense a little bit. And like he mentioned, Glass got injured last week, but they're expecting Taylon James to possibly be back. If Taylon James comes back, I give a slight edge to Marion Franklin. I just know with Walnut Ridge not being able to throw the ball, Marion Franklin's going to load that box up and make it real tough on Walnut Ridge's running backs, Feltz and Leach. So I'm going to go Marion Franklin. Walnut Ridge, to me, has a little bit more talent offensively, but without their quarterback, I don't know if they're able to get it to all those weapons.
Okay. Sorry. DeShawn, do you have anything to add in there?
I'll add one more thing. He added it that they're missing their quarterback here, but I really am a little bit worried about Marion Franklin's defense. Now, their defense has shown that they can give up those points. Now, this is something that I'm not really concerned about this game for Marion Franklin's side, because I think Marion Franklin have shown that they have depth. They have had depth with all these injuries that they've had, all these things that they've gone through. They have shown that they got the depth needed to move on and move through. Walnut Ridge, even though they have their running back as their main guy, I'm leaning. I think there might be an upset, but Marion Franklin has the chance to pull this off and win it.
Ty?
I think Anthony hit the nail on the head with Walnut Ridge probably running the ball more without their quarterback. I just wonder, do we think that they're going to run the ball every single time, or do we maybe see a couple trick plays here and there, or if they have it up their sleeve?
They might have to resort to trick plays when the person who's been playing quarterback for him, Leach, the running back, or Darren Brown, the passes haven't quite looked very crisp. So, them throwing the ball. If I'm Marion Franklin, I want them to throw the ball.
Okay.